Yep. So Jack's turned the webcast on.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, we're going to call the Schaumburg Village Board meeting to order for Tuesday, September 24th, 2019. Thank you all for coming. Just so you're aware, we do have this video streamed, so you're welcome to go home and watch it again if you want. I ask that you make sure you turn off your cell phone. Not want me confiscating them. The first item is a roll call. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Bishke.
Present.
Trustee Madej.
Present.
Trustee Dunham.
Present.
Trustee Sullivan.
Present.
Trustee Conley. Present. Trustee Kozak.
Here.
President Daly.
Present. All present and accounted for. I would like to ask Trustee George Dunham to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Trustee Dunham. Next item is approval of minutes. We have minutes from September 10th, 2019. Any comments, questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion by Trustee Conley, second by Trustee Bishke to approve the minutes from September 10th. All those in favor?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. We have approval of expenditures in the tune of $6,218,667.96.
Move to approve the expenditures as presented.
Second.
Trustee Sullivan moved to approve. Trustee Kozak second. Any other comments? Will the clerk please pull the board?
Trustee Bishke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley. Aye. Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. And now we have some presentations to make. First one is a presentation of a retirement plaque for Lynette Perry, Community Development Permit Clerk. Please come forward. So we're going to get the picture. So let me take this apart, make sure I got the right one. So bear with me a second while we do the formalities here. Okay. Turn this around. Okay. If we do this right, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, enjoy your retirement. Next one is 30 years. 30 years, long time. And still not retired. Kurt Metzger, Police Department, Police Commander. Long time, 30 years, wow. Yes. Glad you've been here the whole time, though. Certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Kurt.
Yeah, take time to say hello to everyone. Next one is 20 years for Frank Athbel. I pronounced that correctly. Police Department, Auxiliary. Want to get a good picture, right? I want to get a picture. Okay, absolutely. So we'll take our time. There's no rush here. All right. Congratulations. Look over here. So, okay. All right. No, you got to wait. She's got to get one. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Congratulations.
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 And the last one we have in presentations is for 20 years also for Daniel Mager, Police Department, Police Auxiliary Officer. Is that somebody else? Oh, here she comes. come. She's going to take your picture, too. Okay, here you go. Here, I'll let you, okay. All right, so there is an envelope with this, too. So be careful not to lose that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, next item is a liquor license request. We have a request from Miss Sue Swanson for one Class E liquor license for 7-Eleven at 1530 North Roselle Road. New owner, please come forward. I assume you're here. No, we have someone else here. You're representing the 7-Eleven?
No, I'm the prospective franchisee. Dan is here. He's representing 7-Eleven.
Okay, why don't you step up here, give us your name and address, and if you wouldn't mind, write that in. We'll take your time.
Yeah, so my name is Jigar Shah. I'm residing at 1743 Chippendale Road in Hoffman Estate, Illinois 60169. And just as how you mentioned, we are here seeking a liquor license for 7-Eleven at 1530 North Roselle Road.
Okay, and, well, let's start with, and who are you?
My name is Daniel Kuba. I work for 7-Eleven Corporate. He's
Oh.
the prospective new owner.
Okay, and who is Sue Swanson?
She is in charge of our licensing down in Dallas.
So she submitted the paperwork, but it's indicating the request is from her, but it's for you.
Yes.
Okay, all right, just need to make sure that's clear. Okay, but, so you would be the owner, franchisees, or whatever you refer to that, right?
Correct.
Okay. Questions, comments from the board? No?
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
by all means.
yeah, so you are the prospective licensee.
Yes.
Okay, and is your name on the paperwork?
Yes, it will be.
Okay, well, it's
will-
not now, but it will be.
Yes, it will be. That's why we are
'Cause- all right.
seeking to get a license.
Because the license needs to be in your name, not in,
No, it will be under,
Should be in your-
yeah, it will be under my name.
Yeah.
right?
It is on the paperwork, right? I didn't go through the whole thing, but yeah, it's on the paperwork. It's just, she submitted, Sue Swanson submitted it, that's all. Okay, any further questions, comments? Okay. Yeah, you'll need to see the Liquor Commissioner's office tomorrow or after to get the full, go through the full liquor process, which will include background check, et cetera, by the police department, and then once all that's completed, then you'll be issued the liquor license.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you.
Consent agenda. You have before you a consent agenda. It'll be read in its entirety, voted on as one motion to approve. If you wish to discuss an item further, please indicate that when the item is read by the village clerk so that it can be removed from the consent agenda and discussed further on the committee reports. Otherwise, all items will be approved as presented on the consent agenda. And I would ask that the village clerk please read the consent agenda. Thank you.
Number 1, correspondence. The motion would be to approve the request from Family Outreach Program, Inc. to fundraise from sunrise to sunset on October 22nd to 24th, 2019, at the intersections of Roselle Road, Valley Lake Drive, Plum Grove Road, Schaumburg Road, Roselle Road, Wise Road, and Schaumburg Road, Meacham Road. B, the motion would be to approve the request from Schaumburg Firefighters Benevolent Association to fundraise from sunrise to sunset on October 8th and 12th, 2019, at the intersections of Schaumburg Road, Plum Grove Road, and Schaumburg Road, Meacham Road, 2, liquor licenses. The motion would be to approve the request from Ms. Catherine Robles, Director of Transportation for the Village of Schaumburg, for one Class D one-day liquor license for Global Brew Tap House for Hops and Props on Saturday, September 28th, 2019, from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. at Schaumburg Regional Airport at 905 West Irving Park Road. 3 proclamations. Extra Mile Day, November 1st, 2019. 4, Finance, Legal, Administrative, and General Government. The motion would be to approve the Finance Department Monthly Report for July 2019. B, the motion would be to approve a resolution authorizing the village president to execute a revised operating agreement by and between the Village of Schaumburg and the Schweiker House Preservation Fund for the use of the Schweiker House at 645 South Meacham Road, Schaumburg, Illinois. C, the motion would be to approve the purchase of necessary components for implementation of Phase 2 of the Facility Access Control System with Pentagra Systems of Addison, Illinois, and issue a purchase order in the amount of $166,274. D, the motion would be to award the purchase and installation of vehicle-mounted mobile radios in all fire apparatus and ambulances to the lowest responsible bidder, Radicom, Inc. of McHenry, Illinois, and issue a purchase order in the total amount not to exceed $151,805.80. B, the motion would be to adopt an ordinance amending the Schaumburg Village Code, Chapter 51, Section 41.01, Village Fee Schedule. F, the motion would be to authorize the Director of Finance to conduct a public hearing on October 28, 2019, to solicit feedback from interested parties related to recommended changes to the vending machine license fees. G, the motion would be to award the property and liability insurance contracted to Trident Insurance Company of Chicago, Illinois, for the village's liability exposures, and Chubb Group of Insurance of Schaumburg, Illinois, for its property and boiler coverage, and approve a resolution authorizing the village manager to direct Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Services, Inc. of Rolling Meadows, Illinois, to bind property and liability coverage as detailed in the 2019-20 insurance proposal at a total cost, including brokerage fees, of $543,815. 5, Committee of the Whole. The
Pull,
motion-
please.
Pull, okay. That we're pulling the approval of an ordinance amending various sections of the Village Schaumburg Municipal Code to authorize video gambling. 6, the Plan Commission. The motion would to be approved a side yard setback variation principal structure room addition located at 531 Grace Lane. 7, resolutions. The motion would be to adopt as Resolution R 19065, approving and authorizing the village president to execute a revised operating agreement by and between the Village of Schaumburg and the Schweiker House Preservation Trust for the use of the Schweiker House at 645 South Meacham Road, Schaumburg, Illinois. Excuse me. B, the motion would be to adopt as resolution number R 19-066, authorizing the village manager to direct Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Management Service, Inc., to bind property and liability insurance coverage with Trident Insurance Company and Chubb Group of Insurance. 8, ordinances. The motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 19074, granting a side yard variation, setback variation, principal structure room addition, 531 Grace Lane. B, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 190-075, amending Title III various sections of the fee schedule, 2020 general fees and community development fees. C,
Pull.
that would be an ordinance amending various sections of the Village of Schaumburg's municipal code to create liquor licenses for establishments with video gaming. This concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you very much. I look for a motion to approve the consent agenda with item A under Committee of the Whole and item C under ordinances having been pulled for further discussion.
So moved.
Second.
So motion, multiple motions, and a second to approve. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bischke?
Aye.
Trustee Madey?
Aye.
Trustee Dunham?
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan?
Aye.
Trustee Conley?
Aye.
Trustee Kozak?
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Committee reports. I did ask for this item to be pulled off regarding the establishment of an ordinance for video gaming in the Village of Schaumburg. We do have a revised ordinance that the village manager and staff put together for us with some a cover letter noting some of the changes. Wanted to just see if there is any questions or comments on any of these in particular. I have one if no one else does. My one comment is regarding the modification for minimum square footage. We had asked for staff to come back and tell us what they could best determine in a short period of time to be an average square footage of existing establishments, which they have provided at roughly 2,300 square feet. After some further conversation with a number of others, including other mayors and communities, I would prefer that that number, instead of being 2,300, be at 2,000. I think that's more than sufficient and a more appropriate number, but I'm open to discussion on that. Anyone?
No.
Trustee Dunham?
Yeah, having had some of those same conversations, I'd have to agree with you. Actually, I think it should be even a little lower, but I'm comfortable with 2,000.
Anyone else?
I agree.
No? Okay. Then I guess we're looking for, I'm sorry, Trustee Conley, yes,
I have some comments.
sure.
On page 13, where we have the use of the video gambling revenue funds, it was originally proposed in the document we had 2 meetings ago that the 50% amount that was going to be used for social service activities related to video gambling was at 50%, and then we changed that to up to 50%. I really would like it to stay here at 50% instead of the up to amount, to make sure that we are making a strong commitment to social services related to family issues, household issues having to do with gambling and related problems.
Any objections? Trustee Dunham?
I'd ask, what if the entire 50% is not needed, Marge?
Well, we could always carry funds to the following year, and I mean, we have social services that takes in all kinds of things, and I would like this to be used for not only gambling, but related social service with family issues.
I was the one,
Trustee Bischke, yes,
Sorry
go
about
ahead.
I was the one that actually suggested at the committee of the whole that we change it from 50% to up to 50%, and my reasoning for that was, at this point, we really don't know what the total revenue is going to be. And this gives us flexibility at budget time as a board to decide and make that commitment. And certainly we can make the commitment at 50%, but it just gives us some flexibility until we know what the demand is going to be for these licenses and for these fees for game terminals and so forth. And so I would prefer that it stay as it's written in the ordinance as up to 50% and allow the board to make that decision on an annual basis.
Certainly, it's our discretion at budget time to do that. So trustee Madej?
Yeah, I kind of agree with trustee Conley, and I mentioned this the last time we had this discussion, that, you know, we have a social service group that takes care of not just about addiction, but, you know, domestic violence and other issues. And a lot of times, gambling addiction is not the sole issue. It could be amongst other issues involved, causing, you know, family separations and things like that. So, you know, I'm okay with the up to 50%, but I also believe that we shouldn't solely put this towards addiction only, gambling addiction. I think it should be pursued to have it as a whole group of social services.
So I think we're all looking for the same thing here. I don't, you know, it's just a little word semantics, but I think the message has been sent to staff that what we're interested in is having some of these funds dedicated towards providing some of the social service. And I don't, whether it be in the form of addiction or it's something else, I'm okay with either way. My initial request for this to be added was that, and we are the only community anywhere that's doing this, is that we have something there to help provide assistance for those, that we just don't leave them out there, leave residents in our community out there. So the village manager, I think, has got the message, and when preparing the budget, he will certainly take a look at that. So I'm fine with changing it. I'm also fine. I don't think we need to change it, but it's up to the pleasure of the board. So anyone strongly feel one way or another? No? Leave it alone?
I would like to give staff more flexibility with it and just have it towards social services. I'm okay whether it's up to or whether it says 50%. But I think, you know, they budget for a certain number of counselors on staff. They can also bring in consultants. They can have people do lectures. And I would like to give them a little bit more flexibility. How do you?
Okay.
I think,
Well, hang on one second. I was going to ask, so how does that impact this item for this evening?
A vote could still be taken with
Okay.
the amended language, if that's the desire of the board.
Okay.
Certainly.
Okay.
Trustee Kozak?
Trustee,
Trustee Kozak?
trustee, who's first? Trustee Kozak.
Well, this is gonna be a program that we're gonna ease into. This is not gonna be a program we're gonna jump into right away. This addiction, I think we're gonna have to reach out and look into the community and see what we need. I can see where you're coming from, Mark, that there's other areas that may need help. But I mean, we're not gonna jump all over the board and say, oh, this here, this, there, that we're gonna need. I think we're gonna ease into this as we're gonna see what funds are available to out there to go and be able to assist other individuals that need assistance. So I think I don't have a problem whether we go up to 50 or we go 50. I can go either way with the board, whether the choice is.
Trustee Bischke?
I was going to say I would agree with trustee Madej and suggest that we just change that sentence to say that shall be allocated to the treatment of gambling addiction and other social services for residents.
Any objections to that? Trustee Donovan?
not an objection, but just a comment. At this early, I have to agree somewhat with trustee Kozak. At this early juncture, we don't know what, if any, demand this is going to place on, you know, our social services. And I wonder if it wouldn't be better to say that we will allocate up to X percentage, you know, for social services, including if needed.
Well, again, I think we're covering, you
Yeah,
know.
I think, we're dancing
I
around.
think we all want the same thing. I don't think there's any question here. We're all looking for the same thing. I'm fine with whatever kind of wording to talk about addiction, social services, I'm fine with that. As long as the village manager and staff understands what we're looking for.
So
And-
I'm comfortable with trustee Bishke's suggestion.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Village manager, you have a question?
No, I think that we can wordsmith it a little bit to make sure that the full scope of social services, including gambling addiction, would be
Right.
covered, correct?
Okay.
That's fine. And
All
I
right.
have
We are
one-
clear, and I'll speak for staff, we are clear on the board's intent.
Right. Then I have one other.
Okay, yes.
In the same area, where we have this, the additional tax revenue that would be gained from this to be held in an arts and entertainment fund. I have no problem with this saying to be held in a special fund of the general fund, but I see this more as a policy issue. I mean, we have certain financial policies that we maintain that says what we do with excess funds in the general fund, going to CIP and going to the Convention Center, Entertainment Center Fund. But those are policies. I think it's very unusual in an ordinance to say this here. I have no problem saying it should be, held in a special fund in the general fund, but I think that should be easier to change if we have a need for that money through just a change to a policy, a financial policy. And we have a number of those, and we change them every once in a while. But I don't think that should be here in the ordinance.
Well, this was certainly, this was my suggestion. It doesn't do anything. It's a fund. It's just a bucket of where to put the money. And I'll be quite frank, my goal was to keep it out of general fund and to allow us to have some leeway at the annual budget time to determine where these funds might be best spent. And we've talked a little bit about that, whether it be across the plaza at the Prairie Center, or it be done for summer concerts, or out at the ballpark, or anywhere else. I don't see how any of that changes by just indicating this is where we want the money to be deposited. Other comments on that?
I have to agree with you, Tom.
And no
Okay.
one else feels the way I do, so that's fine, we can drop the issue.
Okay. Any other comments on this for this evening?
Yeah, I'm gonna make one final comment.
Yes.
I will be voting no on the ordinance as written, because it does include the allowance, eventually, of video cafes and lounges. I feel that those are not appropriate in our community, and I would like to see an ordinance more in line with the Mount Prospect ordinance, which just outright says, no cafes are allowed.
Understood. Anyone else? Trustee Madej?
Yeah, I also concur with trustee Conley. I know we've made some good changes on this, and it's most likely going to pass tonight, but I would have to vote no for this also because of the salons, the cafes. I just don't think they belong in our community.
Anyone else? Well, I would like to say that I think we all put a lot of effort into this. I thought we worked well together in coming up with an ordinance, and while we may not all agree on every part of it, we did work together, and I think that's commendable. So I do appreciate that. And with that, I will look for a motion.
Just to be clear.
Yes.
We would need a motion that includes the two amendments, the one to the 2,000 square feet for the cafes,
Mhm.
and then the one, at least my understanding is to the language of the use of the funds to be a broader scope for social services.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion?
I will, so moved.
So a motion to recommend approval.
Yes.
Second.
Second by trustee Kozak. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Bishke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
No.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
No,
Trustee Kozak.
Aye.
4 ayes, 2 nays, motion carries. And from there, we need
The ordinance itself.
the motion to approve ordinance number 19-076, establishing a municipal code to create liquor licenses for establishment of a video gaming. And motions to waive first reading.
So moved.
Second.
And just to be clear, to
Yes.
approve with the amendments to those two sections.
Correct.
Okay, there's a motion by trustee Bischke and a second by trustee Dunham to approve. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Bischke.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Nay.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Conley.
Aye. I'm sorry, no.
I think we knew
Trustee
that.
Kozak.
Aye.
4 ayes, 2 nays, motion carries. Thank you very much. Anything else for committee reports? I don't believe so. Comments from the audience. If you have comments that are matters pertinent towards the village of Schaumburg, please step forward. Try and keep your comments short. And then, if you wouldn't mind, state your name and address and sign in, please.
My name is Matt Stewart from 1220 Cambia Drive here in Schaumburg. Lifelong resident of Schaumburg, and I know you just approved the ordinance changes for the video gambling, and I do appreciate the process that you have had and the chance to speak publicly on this matter. You all know my reasons why I was opposed to this ordinance. I don't need to repeat the minutes of the last committee of the whole, but I do want to address 2 questions that may have been rhetorical last week, but arose after I spoke there. As to the point made about people going outside of our borders already to gamble, the question was posed as to what are we supposed to do, maintain the moral high ground while losing those customers to other towns? And I still argue yes, because we're strong enough as a community that we can and that we should. A similar question arose that if people can just take a short drive to gamble, then what's the point keeping it out? My answer to that is also simple, and many in town I know agree, that while that's true, the point is it's really pleasing to us that when driving through the streets of our town, we are proud we don't have to see the storefront video gambling cafes anywhere, or the lights in restaurants and hotel windows going off as we go by. Not just for us residents, but for those who visit here as well. It's about what we stand for and what we won't stand for. So I wish I could still challenge the board to do what is right and to vote against the ordinance, but I do, again, thank you very much for your time in the process. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Council report.
I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. President's report. I have 2 items. First one is I had the opportunity to go to the DuPage Mayors and Managers Innovation Awards last Wednesday, held in Lisle. First of all, I have to say they had excellent pot roast. Wow, it was so good. What could I say? I was hungry. It was very good. But the village participated in the Innovations Awards, and we're a regular participant in it. And we've submitted a number of ideas and programs over the years. Our transportation director, Karen Robles, presented a video that was put together with the help of Rob Palekis from Cultural Services. And we did win for innovation.
Best presentation.
Best presentation, that's right. We won for best presentation. And this is the 3rd year in a row. It was very good. Rob is not here in the audience, but boy, he needs that man needs a raise. Wow. His actually live performance was pretty amazing. Kevin did excellent too there. I know he's not here, but it was very good. And I did get some ideas out of there of something that's been rolling around in my head for a while, and it was great. It was very good. It was probably maybe 8 presentations or so, and everybody had fun with it, so that was great. The The other thing I want to mention, and I'm sure others will probably do the same, is that, as you're aware, last Friday, there was an incident at Woodfield Mall with a slow drive through the mall. Someone who obviously has some issues, but what I do want to mention is the work that was done by our staff, from the police department, the response by them, the fire department, the professionalism that was done by them. It started with the 911 center staff, of course, Northwest Central Dispatch, in taking a very calm approach with people that were calling in, and we've since heard that probably on the news and on the radio of people that were very concerned as to what this individual was up to. There was also a great response by neighboring communities. I know that Cook County was there. They helped block off some of the area at Woodfield, so we wouldn't have traffic in there disturbing what we had going on. Community development, building division, probably public works too. The communications department, Allison, handling all the communications for this, did a fabulous job. I've heard nothing but great things about everyone's effort into there, and it all ended very nice and peacefully. I also commend a couple of unknown off-duty officers. I thought they were from Chicago, maybe not both, but for actually stepping up and doing something on their own. Citizens helping it out there too, so that was very good. Our staff is trained for this. I know you go out at like 11 o'clock or 3 in the morning or something like that to do these things, and trained for situations that occur at the mall. It's a wonderful mall. We certainly don't want any damage or anything done there. So commend you guys and everyone else that participated and did that, including the village manager, certainly putting up with me calling every half hour. So that's all I have for that. Nothing else under President's report, manager's report.
I have no report this evening.
New business, unfinished business, and now trustee comments. Trustee Dunham.
I hate to put Rich Bascom on the spot, or maybe Village Manager Townsend would want to say something about the Hops and Props event on Saturday.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Come on up, Rich.
You don't have to.
We gotta make sure you get on TV.
Yeah, don't hide back there.
Yes, we have a Hops and Props event out at Schaumburg Regional Airport. It's taking place this Saturday, rain or shine. It occurs between 6 and 9 p.m.
Sunshine.
And it
Sunshine.
features, I'm sorry, what?
Sunshine.
Yes,
Not rain or
yes.
shine.
No,
Sunshine.
but we
yes.
just want people to know
No.
it's inside hangars, so even if it's raining, please come out. We have a lot of interesting aircraft there. We also have food trucks, and of course, we have the hops. So there'll be lots of beer, and I think it'll be a great time.
Great.
Any questions?
Good one, George.
All right.
Anyone else? No. Then I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much.